to HeKate's crossing. Now, I was discussing this with someone yesterday with a reading, different ways to look at the cards, and I think it's quite important to think about the cards as when you're reading a spread. Look at the spread as a whole and how do they interact. How do the cards actually interact with each other? Okay, we can start with the Eight of Swords. So we think of swords. What are swords? Swords are intellect, communication. They can be quite invoking energy. The energy is something that you invoke, you think about, you perceive. You think about those thoughts. You're thinking about things. Okay, let's just randomly choose. Okay, we've got Six of Swords as well, and Three of Swords. So this is a reading that's very airy. It's all about communication. It's all about thoughts and ideas, plans. Okay, Eight of Swords. Now we know Eight of Swords is traditionally a card that you would think about your perceptions as being bound, you're being blindfolded, you're trying to find your way through it if you're looking at the Rider-Waite. So that's a card that is very much about your having to use your other senses because you can't plan where you're going, you can't see. So you feel that maybe your perceptions, your thoughts, your ideas, your plans are really bound up, really tied tight. Then you've got the Six of Swords, and Six of Swords is about that shift in idea and perception. So your ideas are shifting, your ideas are changing, you're moving on to maybe not being in such chaos that you have been. Then you've got the Three of Swords. Three of Swords is what we call the sense of betrayal, a betrayal card. So we've got this idea that we have been betrayed on some level, maybe by someone else or maybe by ourselves. We're heartbroken. Things are really, really difficult for us at this time. So what I want you to do is just look at this for a moment. Look at the colours. We have green. Okay, so greens are very much about the heart chakra. Then we've got dark blue, which is very much about your third eye. It's quite deep, it's quite dark. So this is about the third eye. So this could be about the truth of what's going on. And then you've sort of got those yellowy tones, and so that's about solar plexus. So how you're going to digest your experiences in life. It's very much about your gut instinct. So you look at the three colours of these cards and you get a sense of opening up your heart to be able to communicate clearly and seeing the truth of the situation so that you can actually digest with what's going on. So it's about trusting with your gut instinct that, if you can trust with your gut instinct with what you are seeing, the truth of the situation, you might find yourself being able to open up your heart to what's happening. So that's one way to sort of look at the cards. If you've got all three swords, and you're looking at what the meanings of the cards are, and then a little bit more about the colours and how they relate to maybe the chakras and that's going on. Okay, so the other way, so let's just have a look at, let's see another three cards and see what they come through as. Okay, here you've got the Emperor. Now the Emperor is a card of authority, fatherhood. He's a ruler, iron fist sort of thing. He could be someone who rules over his land, rules over his people. He's a provider for his people. Okay, So you've got the Three of Pentacles, and Three of Pentacles is normally about your skills being recognised, or you're in a group situation. Okay, so there's that whole thoughts of your group, your ideas, your skills, your abilities are being recognised within the group of your abilities. And that was actually reversed. So in reversal, for me, it's very much about there's a block to that. I don't, you're blocked to being recognised for your abilities. And then you have the Hermit. Now the Hermit's about solitude, silence, wisdom and knowledge gained by that silence, reflection. There might be a time to actually stay quiet, but maybe you've been too quiet and maybe it's time to get out, depending on the card. It was reversed, so I feel like there's a time to get out and be a bit more social in the situation. So here you've got the Emperor, the Three of Pentacles reversed, and the Hermit reversed. So reading it together in a sentence would be a sense of maybe needing to be an authoritative figure in your life, because at the moment you feel like you're being blocked to being recognised for your skills and abilities. So maybe it's time for you to get out and, stop being in solitude, stop being in silence, stop the meditation, stop the reflection, and actually it's time for some action to take. So it's actually time for you to sort of get out there and start being with people. Again, you're going to look at the colours. You've got this blue, you've got green here, but this is a sort of a throaty blue. This is more the throat chakra, so it could be about communicating, healing. It could be about healing oneself. Could be a sense of who you are as an identity of one person. If it's the orange that's sort of standing out. So it's all about identity, who you are and how you digest your experiences. Again, you've got that seeing the truth of the situation as you open your heart to new possibilities. Can you see the colours and how you can get that much more out of a reading when you start looking at the colours? Okay, you've got this major arcanas on either side, so you know it's something that's quite important, quite impact. You've got this earthy sign, and it's a sense of being grounded, being physical, earthly matters. So you've got the sense of spirituality interweaving with your physical health and finances, materialistic abilities. So there you've got another way of sort of reading the minor arcanas. Now, for me, you will have noticed I've just used a few basic keywords for the minor arcana without sort of going too difficult. Just flicking through. Here we have the sun. Sun's reversed. To me, that's just about a block to divine timing, maybe a block to being surrendering to your vulnerabilities, maybe a block to your freedom. So just really simple keywords, just keeping it really simple. Here you've got the Eight of Wands. You see that it's movement. Okay, so there you have, could be to do with your ambition, your spiritual. You see the energy, it's swift, it's whatever's going on, keep it in context. Say it's to do with your love, you can say, well, your love's moving quickly through the situation. It's a job. You're moving quickly through your job at the moment. Things are happening. You're rushing ahead. Here you've got the King of Coins. So you know that he's stable, he's strong, he's very earthy, feet firmly on the ground. So you can see that real quick. He's a mature man. You know it's to do with finances. So you just go, hey, it's a businessman. Okay, so he's telling me about my business. Maybe I need to be a bit more careful with my money, budget. Just really quick. Not trying to get too bogged down by too much information. We've done the Emperor and the fatherhood, ruler of people, provider. Done those three. Okay, that comes through again. Okay, so here we have the Nine of Swords. Now we know Nine of Swords can be a sense of being really stressed, overwhelmed, heaps going on when you look at the Rider-Waite imagery. Okay, so you know that the meanings are basically stress-related. It's about your thoughts, perceptions, ideas, plans. Nines can also be about nearing completion. So maybe you're moving through new levels of awareness within your own perceptions, your own thoughts, own plans. So yeah, just try to keep it really, really simple as you go through and learn the keywords of the cards. And I don't really want to go into every single card. I'm just sort of collecting a few and just sort of giving you an idea of how they can run together. You know, when you look at the Sun, the Eight of Wands, and the King of Pentacles, you could say, hey, there's a block to my vulnerability. I know I've got to try and move through it, so I've got to turn that vulnerability around. I've already got to surrender to it, and then I can start moving forward, and I can move on to maybe a business opportunity for me with my budgeting and getting things sorted and organised. Really, really simple. Take care. Blessed be. Fairy Lights Tarot with HeKate's Crossing.